Hi, my name is Richard Broadberry. I'm a biomedical scientist by profession, and I spent more than 20 years working in Taiwan and China. And during that time, I was able to study the ancient Chinese classics, which were edited by Confucius and left for us, and then also later to study the ancient Chinese writing, which are characters inscribed, carved onto tortoise shells and the scapular bones of animals. And it was of interest to discover that the ancient Chinese worshipped the same God as the Jews in the Bible. They also called him the Most High God, or Heaven as an alternative name, and they worshipped him similar to the Jews with animal sacrifices to cover their sins. This history goes back over 4,000 years, and I believe it's related to the group who came out of the Tower of Babel with the Chinese language and moved to what is now China. And every year, the Emperor of China would sacrifice unblemished sheep and bulls, again, identical to the Jews in the Bible. And this slide here shows the actual original sacrificial site of over 4,000 years of history on the top of Mount Tai in Shandong province, where my third daughter is from, whom we adopted. This was also near to where Confucius lived. So he often took part in the sacrificial ceremony with the emperor. And a really early recording of this sacrifice to the Most High God, called Shangdi in Chinese, is from the Book of Poetry. It talks about a lady called Jiang Yuan who found herself barren, just like Abraham's wife Sarah and others in the Bible. And it said that she presented a pure offering and sacrificed that her childlessness might be taken away. And then it appears that Shangdi, the Most High God, appeared to her, and she stood on a toe print made by him, and as a result she became pregnant and gave birth to Hoji, one of the ancestors of the Zhou dynasty emperors. It was a miraculous birth too. It was very, she had it seems, no pain in pregnancy or anything. And this was about 2400 BC. So sacrifice to Shangdi has a long history. And as we look at the ancient Chinese writing, which I've mentioned was carved on these tortoise shells and animal bones, we can actually discover the story of creation and and Adam and Eve and all that happened in the Garden of Eden, necessitating the sacrificial system, which obviously pointed to Jesus Christ on the cross, because Adam and Eve rebelled against God, and they should have died, but in their place they offered unblemished sheep and bulls. This character meaning righteousness. On the left is the original version, which is carved on the tortoise shells. The top part, you can actually see the horns of the sheep, and underneath is the word for the character meaning me, I or me, and that is composed of two halves. The left hand part is the word for hand, and the right hand for a weapon or a spear. So how do I become righteous before God? In my hand, I take the spear or the weapon and I slay the lamb, which covers me. Its blood cleanses me from sin, again, which pointed to Jesus, who is called the Lamb of God, who takes away the sin of the world. So this is just a brief summary of the talk that I'm going to give in Minneapolis by Zoom. I'm living in Southampton, England, famous for two ships, actually. The first one is in 1620. It's where the Mayflower, which transported the Pilgrims to a new life in America, set sail from. And then the other famous ship is the one that also headed for America, but became famous for a different reason. It sank on its maiden and only voyage, its name, the Titanic.